What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to VeVe Investments. On today's episode, we're talking about different ways you can get textures for your home space. So if you guys are interested, make sure to stay tuned. We discuss 7 ways in this episode. So we've done quite a bit of videos on the VeVeVerse up until this point, and a lot of them having to do with 3D models. Now, David did confirm that 3D models are not going to be something we can import during phase 1. However, the portfolios we have been building are likely going to be something we can use down the line. So in a similar way of building a portfolio of 3D models, you guys can build a portfolio of textures to help prepare for your VeVe home space. So I did mention we're covering 7 different ways. So without further ado, let's kick it off with point number 1. So the first way you guys can begin gathering textures is going to be using basic search engines like Google to gather stock photos. So you can type in keywords like concrete, brick, to other things like abstract patterns, and then just right click to save and put them in a folder. And then you guys can also purchase or download for free textures from other websites like Shutterstock, textures.com, or Pixelbay. Now the next method is going to be using AI, so you can utilize generative AI tools to create unique textures based on patterns, styles, or references. And then some platforms you can use are going to be platforms like ChatGPT and Midjourney. However, other basic platforms like Canva and Kittl are starting to introduce AI in their platforms as well. Now I'm over on Midjourney and I put in 3 prompts to show you guys some examples of what you can generate. In this case, I kept the prompts quite simple. So the first one is going to be a metal texture. The second one, a pattern from the movie Tron. And then the third one, a wood pattern. So in order to generate stuff like this, guys, one key thing, you're just going to put -- tile, and it's going to generate these images. So if you don't put a space here, it's not going to work. If you put a space after the dashes, it's not going to work. If you only put one dash, it's not going to work. It has to be written exactly like this. So we'll toss one more in here and see what it comes up with. And there you have it. So next on the list, you can make some of these textures yourself. So you can create textures manually using digital painting software. So you can use platforms like Canva, Photoshop, or 2D painting tools within 3D softwares like Blender. Now, just a little reminder for those who end up taking this route, just keep in mind that you export the file as a JPEG or PNG. Now, we've talked about this app once in the past. It is back for a second time around, and that's because you can use it to scan more than just models. So in this case, you can use it to scan textures from physical objects and then upload them as digital files into the VeVeVerse. Now, I do have Polycam as an example on screen. It is going to be a free app, but you can use pretty much any 3D scanners to capture physical objects and then apply them as digital textures inside your home. Now, number 5 on the list is going to be taking photographs yourself. So you can take pictures of real world textures and then use them as textures for your own models. So in similar ways to points already discussed, just simply upload the files, or you can alter them in a design software like Canva or Photoshop. Now, this one's actually quite neat in my opinion because I'm somebody where whenever I have an idea on my mind, I kind of just write that topic down on a list. And in a similar way, I kind of feel like I'd probably do the same thing here, where if I just walk by something that I would want to apply in a virtual space, I'll just take a photo of it. So next on the list, we're going to have texture editing. So what you can do is you can modify existing textures using image editing software like Photoshop or GIMP. GIMP is like Photoshop, but it's free. So let's say you have a texture that you're interested in, but it's not quite there. Something's missing. You can download the texture, import it into something like Photoshop, apply whatever changes you want, keeping in mind that a majority of the work's already done, right? And then you can export it as a final piece and upload it into the VeVeVerse. So if you guys have ever heard the phrase work smarter, not harder, this would kind of be a good example of that. If you guys don't want to create something entirely from scratch, download something that's already been made and then just make a slight variation of it. And last but not least, we've talked about these when it comes to 3D models, but there are also going to be pre-made texture packs. So some you are going to have to pay for, some are going to be completely free. It just depends on where you get them from. But packs like these are often going to include a variety of textures that are suitable for different types of projects. So you're going to have entire packs pertaining to just wood textures, concrete textures, brick textures, marble textures, the list goes on. And then if you guys are interested, you can download some of these packs from platforms like textures.com, Texture Haven, Polygon, and more. Ladies and gents, that's going to conclude today's episode. Just a little reminder again, keep in mind that you guys are downloading the proper files, JPEGs or PNGs. From my understanding, anything else will not work. But whether you have access to the beta or not, now would be a good time to start building your own portfolio of textures that you can use in the future. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. And as for our next, I'll catch you then.